Sam C. Hey guys, big snowstorm. We got story time with Ronnie. Snorry time with Ronnie. The Time Machine, part 16, baby. I think we're gonna wrap this sucker up today. What are we doing? Show low to the Salt River Canyon. We's finishing up this snowy drive from the mountains. We started out at Big Lake in the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest in the White Mountains of Arizona, up by Greer, Arizona, somewheres over there. And we took a nice little snowy ride, and we's about to dig into that. I think it's Cedar Canyon. And it is just a beautiful little drive. Alright, so when we left this thing off, the time traveler had made it back, met his friends, told them the whole story. Everybody was like, nah, I don't think so. And but you know, say for the one guy, he came back and he was really checking on the guy. He was a little worried about him, you know. So we'll pick it up there, and he's, do you really travel through time? Really and truly I do. He looked frankly into my eyes. He hesitated. His eye wandered about the room. I only want a half an hour, he said. I know why you came, and it's awfully good of you. There's some magazines here. If you'll stop to lunch, I'll prove you this time traveling up to the hilt. Specimens and all. If you'll forgive my leaving now. I consented, hardly comprehending then the full import of his words. And he nodded and went on down the corridor. I heard the door of the laboratory slam. Seated myself in a chair and took up a daily paper. What was he going to do before lunchtime? Then, suddenly, I was reminded by an advertisement that I had promised to meet Richardson, the publisher, at 2. I looked at my watch. Okay, yeah, we sliding on down here. Boy, yeah, this whole drive, it was black ice. It's not black ice. It's sticking, you know, as you went up and down in the elevation, it only took, less than 1,000 feet of change of elevation, and, things would go from wet to icy, and then you never know quite what's going to happen on some of them little low spots and stuff like that. So, it's always a good idea to kind of just use your good judgment. It doesn't matter what the speed limit says. It's whatever's safe. All right, let's get back to it. He was supposed to meet a publisher at 2. I have to take a look at this thing. Look at that barrier. Oh boy, people sure like to play bumper cars on that thing. That would just terrify me to do that. Oh boy, yeah, that was a beautiful ride. See, now look here now, no snow. It's already turning to sleet, and as we go down in there, and then we'll wiggle on through as we get to the Salt River Canyon there, and we go up and down, and it goes snow and not snow and snow and not snow. Okay, we better get going, or we're never going to finish this story. I looked at my watch and saw that I could barely save that engagement. I got up and went down the passage to tell the time traveler. As I took hold of the handle of the door, I heard an exclamation, oddly truncated at the end, and a click and a thud. A gust of air whirled round me as I opened the door, and from within came the sound of broken glass falling on the floor. The time traveler was not there. I seemed to see a ghostly, indistinct figure sitting in a whirling mass of black and brass for a moment, a figure so transparent that the bench behind with its sheets of drawings was absolutely distinct, but with phantasm. But this phantasm vanished as I rubbed my eyes. The time machine had gone, save for a subsiding stir of dust. The further end of the laboratory was empty. A pane of the skylight had apparently just been blown in. Whoa, boy, that's getting snowy. We're closing in on Carrizo, something like that. I felt an unreasonable amazement. I knew that something strange had happened, and for the moment could not distinguish what the strange thing might be. As I stood staring, the door into the garden opened, and the manservant appeared. We looked at each other. Then ideas began to come. "Has Mr. gone out that way?" said I. "No, sir. No one has come out this way. I was expecting to find him here." At that I understood. At the risk of disappointing Richardson, I stayed on waiting for the time traveler, waiting for the second, still stranger story, and the specimens and photographs he would bring with him. But I am beginning now to fear that I must wait a lifetime. The time traveler vanished 3 years ago, and as everyone knows, he has never returned. Ooh-wee. All right, let's dig into this epilogue. One cannot choose but wonder, will he ever return? It may be that he swept back into the past and fell among the blood-drinking, hairy savages of the age of unpolished stone, into the abyss of the Cretaceous Sea, or among the grotesque saurians, the huge reptilian brutes of the Jurassic time. He may even now, if I may use the phrase, be wandering on some Plesiosaurus hunted, I don't know about that Plesiosaurus thing, Eutheoptic coral reef. Okay, you see, now I'm going to get caught up now. I got to just let this go. Or beside the, oh boy, or beside the loony, lonely saline lakes of the Triassic Age. Or did he go forward into one of the nearer ages in which men are still men, but with the riddles of our own time answered and its wearisome problems solved, into the manhood of the race? For I, for my own part, cannot think that these latter days of weak experiment, fragmentary theory, and mutual discord are indeed man's culminating time. I say for my own part, I know, for the question had been discussed among us long before the time machine was made, thought but cheerlessly of the advancement of mankind, and saw in a growing pile of civilization only a foolish heaping that must inevitably fall back upon and destroy its makers in the end. If that is so, it remains for us to live as though it were not so. But to me, the future is still black, and blank is a vast ignorance, lit at a few casual places by the memory of his story. And I have by me, for my comfort, 2 strange white flowers, shriveled now, and brown, and flat and brittle, to witness that even when mind and strength had gone, gratitude and a mutual tenderness still lived on in the heart of man. Oh boy, that's the end of it right there, guys. we knocked that sucker out. The time machine. Oh, he'll come back. Said you'd never know, though, right? He'd come back when he was supposed to meet him after 30 minutes, and the guy'd be like, "Oh, hey, what's up, buddy?" All right, what story are we gonna do? Well, let's just take a peeky-boo at this little drive and just see where we're at. Maybe we can just throw in some music and let it go, kind of thing. Oh yeah, we down on the. Oh yeah, okay. This is that last 35-mile-an-hour turn up and to the right, and then it's there's one little spot to pull over and let people go by if you like, but other than that, there is from here to the bottom of the Salt River Canyon, there is not a single place to stop. So if you travel the speed limit, you are going to have a horde of people behind you. So if you got anybody behind you right now and you want to ditch them, that's it right there. It's good hard gravel, so not to worry. And sometimes, it's if you're waiting all that long, and you gotta, if you travel these roads enough times, you find the good spots to stop, because the big rig, you can pretty much go anywhere, and that a car can and stuff, except you weigh 40,000 pounds, 45,000 pounds, so if you think a car will sink in, you will sink in. All right, so we got a little bit of time left here. Let me just put a pause on this thing, and we'll see if I can find us a new story. Okay, guys, I found us a new story. And it's just absolutely one of my most favorite stories. I am kind of a fan of this guy as opposed to the other guy. And I'm just I'll read the inside of the jacket here and see if you all can figure it out. Let's see. Travel from majestic mountains and lush jungles to bustling ports and teeming cities on an incredible 80-day journey by train, steamer ship, sailboat, and even elephant. On Wednesday, October 2nd, the wealthy and mysterious Phileas Fogg sets out for his private club, just as he's done every day for as long as he can remember. While playing cards, Fogg bets his fellow clubgoers that he can travel round the world in 80 days or less. Determined not to lose, Fogg summons his new steward, the hot-blooded Frenchman Passepartout, and the two men set out on the trip of a lifetime, facing natural disasters, abduction, and surprise attacks. Will the pair make it home in time to save Fogg's fortune? And why is London's detective Fix following every move Fogg and Passepartout make? This handsome edition of Around the World in 80 Days with charming illustration. Okay, yeah, we don't need that part. All right, so I guess you got it figured out that it's Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne. And boy, oh boy, I'm telling you what, it's a fantastic little story. And let's just take a peek if we can get, maybe there's a little bit we can get in here. Oh, okay, yeah, published by chapter 1, in which Phileas Fogg and Passepartout accept each other, the one as master, the other as man. Oh, it's got, holy cow, yeah, okay, Around the World now, yeah, and there it is. All right, Mr. Phileas Fogg lived in 1872 at number 7 Savile Row, Burlington Gardens, the house in which Sheridan died in 1814. He was one of the most noticeable members of the Reform Club, though he seemed always to avoid attracting attention. an enigmatical personage about whom little was known, except that he was a polished man of the world. People said that he resembled Byron, at least that his head was Byronic, but he was a bearded, tranquil Byron, who might live on 1,000 years without growing old. Certainly as an Englishman, it was more doubtful whether Phileas Fogg was a Londoner. He was never seen on 'Change, nor at the bank, nor in the counting rooms of the city. No ships ever came into London docks of which he was the owner. He had no public employment, and he never been entered into any of the Inns of Court, either at the Temple or Lincoln's Inn or Gray's Inn, nor had his voice ever resounded in the Court of Chancery or in the... Oh boy, man, I was rolling right along there, wasn't I? Exchequer, we'll leave it there, or the Queen's Bench, or the ecclesiastical courts. Take that. He certainly was not the manufacturer, nor was he a merchant or a gentleman farmer. His name was strange to the scientific and learned societies, and he never was known to take part in the sage deliberations of the Royal Institute or the London Institution, the Artisans' Association, or the Institution of Arts and Sciences. He belonged, in fact, to none of the numerous societies which swarm in the English capital, from the Harmonic to that of the Entomologists, founded mainly for the purpose of abolishing pernicious insects. Phileas Fogg was a member of the Reform, and that was all. The way in which he got admission to this exclusive club was simple enough. He was recommended by the Barings, with whom he had open credit. His checks were regularly paid at sight from his account current, which was always flush. Oh boy, yeah. So I think we're pretty much done with the snow now. It may give us just a little bit more, but let's just see. We gotta be. Oh yeah, we closing in. All right. Was Phileas Fogg rich? Undoubtedly. But those who knew him best could not imagine how he made his fortune. And Mr. Fogg was the last person to whom to apply for the information. He was not lavish, nor, on the contrary, avaricious. For whenever he knew that money was needed for a noble, useful, or benevolent purpose, he supplied it quietly and sometimes anonymously. He was, in short, the least communicative of men. He talked very little and seemed all the more mysterious for his taciturn manner. His daily habits were quite open to observation, but whenever he did, was so exactly the same that he had always done before, that the wits of the curious were fairly puzzled. Had he traveled? It was likely, for no one seemed to know the world more familiarly. There was no spot so secluded that he did not appear to have an intimate acquaintance with it. He often corrected with a few clear words the 1,000 conjectures advanced by members of the club. Okay. That's that. We's rolling up here, and it's almost the end of it now. So I am just super excited about this new book, Around the World in 80 Days. Boy, I tell you what, race across the globe in an attempt to win the legendary wager. This, okay, yep. Classic treasured copy. All right, let's take a peekaboo here. Yeah. Beautiful little drive. Beautiful little drive. All right, we're gonna wrap it right up there, and I'll join you. I'll let you have a minute of pace here. I can do that much at least. Thanks so much for coming along, guys. Okay, we'll just kind of wrap it up here with just a little bit more yammering. And boy, yeah, around the world in 80 days, that'll be the next one now, and we'll just pick it right up from the beginning probably. I had to dip back in and take a peekaboo here. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming along, and we'll see you again for the PASPA 2. Okay, Samsi. And we'll just leave you with a little bit of big old Rosie. Thank you, Rosie.